If we have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants. We see more not because our sight is superior or because we are taller than they, but because they raise us up and by their great stature add to ours. We master their wisdom and move beyond it. Due to their wisdom, we grow wise and are able to say all that we say, but not because we are greater than they.
Because no one else creates these kinds of games.
On Wednesday, July 30th, 2008, Microsoft launched the very first XBLA Summer of Arcade event. You know, in retrospect, this was really the moment that modern indie games blew up. That's the 8th one. Now, indie game development was nothing new. Zun of Toho fame was making games in 1997, and Daisuke Pixel Amaya had made waves in 2004 with their critical Darling Cave story. But the Summer of Arcade in 2008 was an inflection point of sorts. Console manufacturers and major publishers would rarely provide space for indie devs on their platforms. But the Summer of Arcade saw several of these indie games break into these traditionally walled gardens and into the wider gaming consciousness. Over the next 5 years, the Summer of Arcade would continue to fan the indie game flames by featuring titles like Braid, TMNT Turtles in Time Reshelled, Trials HD, and Bastion. The very first Summer of Arcade title was the aptly named Geometry Wars Retro Evolved 2. I say aptly named because there's a common theme amongst the roster of games here. They're all heavily influenced by retro games in both style and design. Developers were trying to capture some of that sweet nostalgia while bringing then 20 to 30-year-old game design ideas into the modern age. Bionic Commando got rearmed with HD graphics and modern quality of life features. Castle Crashers gave us an update to the classic brawler formula. Braid was this new style of aesthetic puzzle platformer that tipped a cap to its predecessors like Mario. And Geometry Wars gave us a modern twist on shooters like Robotron and literally calls itself Retro Evolved. Not only was this the modern indie game boom, but this ushered in the era of modern retro. With 30 plus years of gaming history behind us, the idea of modernizing and capturing the essence of these styles of games whose popularity had waned was really fertile ground for developers. It remains fertile ground to this day. It's a style of game that aims to evoke the feeling of playing the games from our childhood without the frustrating reality that would often accompany them. Modern retro developers took notes on what worked and what didn't work about the games their elders made. They could see where the common pitfalls were, what technical tricks you could perform with the hardware, which design principles stood the test of time, and which ones needed reworking. They could analyze styles and synthesize the best parts of decades of design thought with their own. Intrepid designers found a variety of interesting ways to do this. With Shovel Knight, Yacht Club Games makes your rose-tinted memories real by giving you no slowdown, more colors, and better music than old hardware could muster. Other creators will try to be as faithful as possible to the limitations of consoles past, or imagined if you're a Pico 8 dev. This is what Japanese indie dev Foxy Boxy Games started doing in 2020, with their titles Masami Sushi Ace, Zodiac DX, and Robo O. These titles, a puzzle game, a platformer, and a fighting game respectively, aren't merely inspired by NES and Famicom games of old. They aspire to work within the technical limitations of those consoles. This design ethos of innovation through limitation is common amongst modern retro developers. Foxy started out hewing so close to the Famicom specifications that they said Masami Sushi Ace could work on actual NES hardware, and that even an early version of Robo O could as well, albeit while suffering some slowdown and sprite flickering. But that may no longer be possible. As Foxy updated their games, Robo O in particular, they transformed into this beast that I don't think an NES could handle at this point. Even with the beefiest of mapper chips, Foxy is quickly approaching the limit of what can be considered an NES-like game. That's if they haven't passed it already. So it makes sense that for Robo O's sequel, Foxy is moving on to the next generation of hardware, so to speak. Super Robo O is the Super Famicom-styled follow-up currently in development from Foxy Boxy Games. They've built a small playable demo while applying for the Gyar Studio Indie Games Contest. Gyar Studio is an indie label created by Bandai Namco in 2021. Bamco uses this label as a pipeline to feed new talent into their core studio. Though the Indie Game Contest's stated goal is to actively support game creators and further stimulate the game industry. The contest offers a total of 100 million yen in prize money and development support for up to 17 winners. Now that is a game-changing amount of money for small creators. It's also a really clever way for Bamco to find small projects and scout for new talent. Look, this is a prospect that could also, in theory, end up with Super Robo O becoming a Bandai Namco game, which is just tantalizing. I mean, come on, U-Melody for Tekken 8? When? But look, before any of that can happen, the judging panel for the Gyar Game Contest is going to have to take a look at a playable demo for Super Robo O. one which Foxy Boxy Games has been kind enough to provide us. So, let's take a look at the current state of Super Robo O. Alright. Let's just do... Okay, that doesn't actually fit. The fighting game community has become accustomed to playing pre-release versions of our favorite games. We get early access at tournaments, we play betas, there are online stress tests, but it's worth remembering that not all pre-release builds are created equal. The large majority of the betas that we find ourselves playing, whether it be DNF Duel or Guilty Gear Strive, are remarkably close to finished products. Super Robo O, on the other hand, is much closer to a prototype than all that. As the disclaimer says, this is an in-development build that is feature incomplete and is subject to change. That's just worth remembering as we really get into things. The current version of the game is very clearly built on top of the bones of the original Robo-O engine. Foxy is developing their game in Godot and have built a framework within it that emulates the limitations of the NES or Famicom. Now that framework seems to have expanded to allow access to the horsepower and extra button real estate that would be available to a developer on the Super Nintendo. Robo-O started out as a modern retro game that was fairly faithful to the original limitations of the hardware it was aiming to emulate. But as development progressed, it really started pushing at the bounds of those limitations. So much so that Robo-O version 3.0 is actually being used as a testbed for the ideas that are going to be implemented in Super Robo-O. This all kind of mirrors the growth in technical proficiency that you would see from Famicom and NES developers from the 80s and 90s. They'd spend several years really wrapping their heads around the system, and so you'd see a drastic improvement from the quality of games that would be produced early on in the life cycle of a console versus games that were produced at the very end. Now, in a fitting parallel to the console generation shifts of old, Foxy is making what is ostensibly an early life Super Nintendo game. The current build is much more in line with 16-bit hardware limitations, but also the original modern retro design ethos of Foxy Boxy Games' earlier titles. This Spartan build gives us access to versus CPU, local versus, and a training mode with a playable version of Ring King. While the menus in training mode are born of the original Robo-O and show the early state of the transition from 8 to 16-bit, the gameplay and audiovisual presentation itself is very much Super Nintendo-esque. Right down to the lo-fi sampled audio, the scanline filter, and the rounded CRT effect. Everybody is getting a serious glow-up. The sprites are lovingly detailed to capture the personality of the cast. Ring King has bulked up and is even sporting his championship belt. The new stages get a similar treatment, with a space station-themed training room and a junkyard for all the fallen opponents. The parallax scrolling and gradient in the sky in the background really reminds me of something you'd see in Super Castlevania 4. Finally, on the user experience front, a visual indicator has been added to help differentiate certain types of attacks, so Ring King's stand heavy attack glows blue to let you know that it has the juggle property. It also looks pretty nice. Mechanically, the game is very much like early lifecycle SNES titles. Characters are weightier than their NES counterparts, which does make movement feel way more responsive and matches the new art style and animation. All around, it plays smoother and looks more fluid, which is something you'd expect from an SNES upgrade. Super Robo-O has 2 attack buttons, much like its predecessor, but it takes advantage of this new controller layout with dedicated forward and backdash being assigned to the shoulder buttons. Then you have a throw/overdrive macro, as well as a 1-button super to accompany your light and heavy attacks on the face of the controller. There's also this tantalizing flavor attack assigned to the select button, which unfortunately doesn't do much in its current state. The new super meter is functional though. Instead of being tied to a traditional bar, super attacks have been broken out into their own unique system. You can still build meter by receiving and dealing damage, and then use that bar for hyperdrive cancels or overdrive attacks. But to get access to your supers, you need to land specific attacks in order to be able to build up your power meter. Throws and heavy special attacks will glow yellow when used, which indicates that they can contribute to this power bar. You can build up to 4 levels of it, each of which gives you access to a progressively more powerful attack. The game also carries over a variation of Robo-O's hyperdrive system, which lets you dash cancel an attack, granting you unlimited juggle points for a brief period of time. You will be locked out of special attacks though, and using a super will end the hyperdrive mode entirely. This really makes up the core of Super Robo-O's combat system and resource management. The system is fairly simple, but it's well balanced, and it allows for a lot of player agency while still having some reasonable potential limiters to keep things in check on the design side. The old hyperdrive mode was connected with the same meter as your supers and overdrive attacks. It also let you use special attacks during its activation, which is great for players who want all their tools available when optimizing combos, but it makes for a very explosive combo system. It also limits a player's choices in some ways. Since hyperdrive, overdrive, and supers are all wrapped up in the same system, there's very little incentive to use your supers at all. The juggle and damage potential of hyperdrive, plus having access to all of your attacks, made hyperdrive the clearly superior way to use your meter. Now that Foxy has made these distinct resources and limited the use of specials, the choice of how and when to use these tools feels much more meaningful. There is another combat mode planned for the game, which replaces hyperdrive and allows you to dash cancel and tag into a secondary character instead. Unfortunately, due to the early state of the prototype and the fact that only Ring King is available, we're not going to be able to test that out today. Thankfully, we will be able to test out all of the other 16-bit upgrades that Ring King has received. You might assume this generational shift would give us a 4 or 6 button fighting game. Instead of the historical approach of trying to fit an arcade fighter onto an SNES to varying degrees of success, Foxy Boxy Games retains the 2-button layout of Robo O and instead uses the button real estate for command macros. Dashes are integral to combat, so they take a prominent place and are assigned to the new shoulder buttons. To compensate for not having a complement of 6 attack buttons, Foxy instead expands on our fighters' movesets. Ring King now has 2 unique target combos in addition to his original set of attacks, as well as a brand new special attack. This new move is a chargeable overhead that actually replaces the light version of his low rush punch. It serves as a combo tool, a mix-up option, and even a meaty starter. When held for long enough, it'll glow yellow, which means it'll do more damage, launch on hit, and charge your power meter. This is really where you start to see where Super Robo O's meter system intersects with its combo mechanics. New attacks like this chargeable overhead add a layer of nuance to Ring King's mix-up game, which didn't really exist before. It offers you an opportunity to build super meter, which is good for damage output and combo extensions. Glowing attacks act as a prerequisite to earning supers. Them being divorced from the hyperdrive meter gives you 2 tracks of resources to manage. All told, this adds extra pressure on a player's mental stack, but offers many more meaningful choices to make in the process. This kind of gradual increase in systems and meaningful choices has been a common theme in Foxy's design history. Robo O started out without any throws and with a fairly limited juggle system, but as Foxy developed the game and responded to the feedback that players were giving them, they started tweaking and introducing new systems. Every time they did this, they offered more meaningful choices to the players. This kind of gradual iteration and layering of systems is really one of the things that has led to Robo O being the excellent game that it is. So, what might we expect to see from Super Robo O as it makes its way through production? Looking at how Foxy Boxy Games has designed and supported their titles over the last 4 years, I foresee a bright future for Super Robo O. Foxy's journey with this series has paralleled the arc of a lot of Famicom game devs. They started with this base level of knowledge, making relatively basic black box style games. With time, experience, and a little bit of help from the creators that preceded them, they ended their arc by making absolute masterpieces. The kind of generational shift that Foxy is experiencing right now hasn't set us back. It might have recalibrated us a bit though. Over the next few years, Foxy will grow even more as an artist. They'll continue to master their craft, and they'll likely keep working on this game. And eventually, we're going to be sitting down with the late era SNES masterpiece, Super Robo O. I, for one, can't wait to find out what Foxy saw from the shoulders of giants.
Niche Fighter Monday!
Hello everybody, how's it going? MrMKL here. Yo, we are hanging out on Niche Fighter Monday. Welcome to the show, everybody. Thanks for, sitting down, enjoying the pre-show. You got a little bit of a taste of what's going on with, what's going to be going on with Super Robo O. I've been pretty blessed, honestly. Foxy Boxy Games and I have been on pretty good terms, and they were very kind, and they approached me recently with the offer of, hey, do you want to take a look at what I've put together for the GR Studio indie game demo, or indie game contest, the demo that I put together for that. And I was like, oh, heck yes, this is something that we are doing. Hey, Foxy! Speaking of, it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure working on this. I'm so happy I was able to showcase the game for everyone. I am very excited. I certainly think this prototype is worth looking at. There's a lot here to really show what the potential of this game is, as well as a little bit of, I think, when we look at it closely, the inner workings of how you, Foxy, actually make games, and where this game came from, where it currently stands from a technical standpoint, and where it might go when we look at what you're doing with Robo 3.0. So I'm very excited to be able to take a look at this. I think it's important. We had a big talk recently on this channel about the idea of prototype and in development games. This was upon the release of Murfight, when Murfight went into 1.0. And yes, we had a nice little talk about the idea of in-development games and what that means and what we usually see when we see betas and early access versions of games. And those things are usually very, very, very close to finished products. Like the betas, I said it in the video here that we just watched in the pre-show, the betas for things like Guilty Gear Strive and Street Fighter and Tekken, those are really, really, really close to finished products. So what we can expect, how much can we expect to change from when DNF Duel did their online tests to when the game released? Honestly, not that much. Some balance changes here and there, but a lot of what that game is about is going to be pretty much set in stone at that point. And so one of the advantages of being able to get player feedback at such an early state, getting the idea of a minimum viable product, and getting a product and a version of your product or game in this case out to people who are then able to try it, and you get feedback and you can respond based on what the most important feedback is. It allows you the ability to really be versatile in your development process and address what needs to be done. And I think we've seen Foxy do this throughout the development of Robo O and Zodiac DX and their other games. And I foresee we're going to see this with Super Robo O as well. So, but we're going to get a chance here to look at one of these, something truly closer to a prototype than what is the betas and early access versions of games that we typically get. Unless you're maybe one of those people like me who enjoy, browsing itch.io for the game jam things and the early access, and there's a group of people who do that for sure. But I would say most of the fighting game community doesn't. But it's actually exciting. It means that we might be able to give some feedback that can have some long-term ramifications, right? Some changes in how things work. I'm excited to see what Foxy's design vision is, and what players' response is to it. So, hey, yo, Zaps, man, it has been a while. Yeah, the Discord hacks are brutal, eh? Well, welcome back. You know what though, friends? It's time for the deep dive. Let's get right into it. Welcome to Super Robo O. There we are. All right, 2020X. I love that the copyright is 2020X, by the way. Right, so look, guys, right off the bat, this game, it's a modern retro game, right? And we've talked about the idea of modern retro games. We've played a lot of modern retro games around these parts. And you'll see it right down to the style of the option menus. I'm throwing this on Maniac just for good measure. And so this demo, yeah, we have access to a versus CPU and a versus mode, as well as training mode. And you can see here, so this is one of the things I wanted to talk about when it came to the state of development, right? So we have a playable version of Ring King. That is what the demo entails. you can see Ring King has an animated idle state, right? All of our other friends here, unfortunately, they're all still gorgeous pixel art, don't get me wrong, right? But not animated. So that makes sense, right? This just goes to show and you've seen Foxy's early prototypes were, there's a Game Boy version of Ring King versus Ring King, and then the Ring King was one of the early characters. I believe they were basically used as the titular character to test out the fighting systems in Foxy's games. And you'll also notice, so where are we in development right now, right? You'll notice that there are a couple characters missing here. My main, Nekogami, is not even on the character select screen, right? So right away, I think one of the beautiful things about being able to look at in-development games and prototypes is to be able to see what is being prioritized, where are we at the state of development. So we have our functional version of Ring King. I went over that in the video that we watched during the pre-show, so I will get to Ring King, don't get me wrong. But one of the first things I wanted to actually show off, I fibbed a little. I lied a little bit in that video, friends. I said Ring King is the only playable character. There are some other playable characters in this game. So we can see here, right? We don't have any extra colors for any of our characters, unfortunately. But what if I pick U-Melody, and what if I pick Auto 5? I mean, let's just, theoretically, since the game allows you to, what happens if we pick these characters, right? They weren't animated on the character select screen, and they're not animated here. But I mean, if we start, so we don't quite have full sprite sheets available for these characters yet, right? But I mean, look at this. Look at this. We got hurt boxes. We got push boxes. We can push someone around. And we can press some buttons. And now, if you know U-Melody has a forward heavy attack that is a 2-hit spin. She does a little twirl forward and she hits twice. 1-2 hits for forward heavy attack, right? She also has a little rush punch with quarter circle forward, and the heavy one will launch, right? What about her EXs? Wait a second, why is Ring King there, right? So once again, if we wanted to, when we want to peek behind the curtain a little bit, we can look at some of these early prototypes. The fact that this is kind of like a Mugen fighter, the fact that this is here, right? And you can see when I use my EX attacks, it's Ring King, right? And so whatever the state is, and this is, I said in the video that Super Robo O, this prototype is built upon the bones of the original Robo O. And I think quite literally that those characters I am venturing a guess that the game started out by being a strict visual rehaul, right? And then, right, so change the framework within Godot that Foxy is using and adapt it to be to 16-bit hardware limitations. And then once they started getting all the, the visual presentation aspects in place, they have, right? If it's built on the same engine, if it is the same engine, the character data should, in theory, be usable. And so this is what I believe. I believe that this is the core Robo O, perhaps Robo O 3.0 character data that is available, but is not tied to any of the visuals right now. But it means that if we do forward, backdash, forward, right? We have our little U-Melody target combo into target combo. If you can't play Auto 5, you're gonna croak. So, okay, interesting thing also about this. From the 2-player side, I have a push box, but none of my attacks actually connect. So all of the character data only works from P1 to P2 side, right? So what does this mean for how the game is being developed and what the process is like, right? Very clearly, it's what you can get this stuff set up, but mirroring it to register on 2-player side is another matter entirely. So Ring King, right? Not Ring King, I'm sorry, our friend Auto 5 can use these attacks as well. but unfortunately can't do anything from that side, but can from this side. Now, Ring King has a few attacks. 2 of them are projectiles. And you can see I'm using them here, and the projectiles are also not currently enabled, right? So there is no hit detection on the projectiles, whether it be EX, whether it be regular or anything. But he does have a down-down attack, which is a rush forward. Like, he rushes forward as a bunch of vehicles and will strike the opponent. And so you can hit and then combo into their command normal, like you would be able to in Robo O. So I love the fact that this is here. This exists, right? And I think it really speaks to where the game is. So what happens now? Now all of these characters, not all the characters, right? Nekogami is not implemented, not in the character select, not here at all. So at what point does, now that this is here, Foxy is able to continuously work on it. So Ring King is playable, right? And apparently all of these characters have been transferred over in a state that is at least functional in some way. So these characters, all the characters who are able to do any of this right now, are primed to be the next candidates. I think it should be noted, because one of the characters here is a brand new character. So Buck and O is also here, and we can select Buck and O, and look here, we'll give Masabio a look here. And so, I don't know, I find this personally really fascinating that we're able to kind of peer behind the veil, right? And so, Buck and O, being a new character that doesn't have any character data that is able to be transferred over from the original Robo O, doesn't even have any hit detection. So we'll just pass right through Masamio, and all of their attacks don't actually do anything. So they have the ability to dash, they have the ability to jump, but none of their attacks have been implemented. So once again, speaking to the state of affairs, right? I mean, it would be realistic to wager that Buckano is further behind, at least in this current build, than any of the other characters like Masamio or Auto 5, and perhaps a little farther ahead, or perhaps it was just easier to implement because Nekogami is not in here. Now, Nekogami is a character that was available in Robo O that could have character data transported over. Perhaps there's a more fundamental change to how Nekogami is operating that means that she's not there yet. Or perhaps it's just Foxy is focusing on a specific set of cast and did the art for Buckano because they wanted to reveal a new character, and therefore they're in here in this state, but could actually be much farther behind development than we would anticipate. Hey, Heart Gold, welcome. Bucano? True, Bucano might actually be, might be it. Okay, and so right now let's bring out Ring King. So we can actually see some of the beautiful animations that we have in this demo here. I love it. We have the battle, the traditional standard color, rival, which makes sense. It's your 2-player color. Durable, which I love that there are these like themed colors. So we have durable, we have cosmic, pretty, and heroic. And dude, I'm sorry. The universal pink color option this is a developer speaking directly to me. And let's go on Junkyard, because I want y'all to see this is a brand new stage, man. And once again, the 16-bit glow up is freaking amazing. Like, I love the parallax scrolling. I love the very layered sunset. It's so good. Oh, the Quinoa DLC when? Oh man, are you kidding me? Which Robo O character would have a pet beagle? That's a good question. Because, I would pay, right? I was just gonna say, I would legitimately pay to have my little girl Quinoa here as like, give me a like Blue Mary style intro where Key comes out with G Dreams or something like that. It's the G Dreams, the G Dreams dog mascot. Oh God, that would melt my heart. It would absolutely melt my heart. All right, so Robo-O, Super Robo-O, and Robo-O, 2-button fighters. Now, this is something legitimately I think a lot of players might have been expecting Robo-O or Super Robo-O to move to a 4 or 6-button layout for like attack layout for normal attacks. And I legitimately thought that was going to happen. My assumption before we saw any of the actual gameplay of Super Robo-O was that we were gonna get a 4-button fighter is what I anticipated. And I was honestly, I'll admit, I think I was a little bit disappointed when I found out that we weren't. But I think it's something that ultimately makes a little bit of sense. Like the idea that this is an early life Super Nintendo game. Like, you could imagine this. I mean, since Robo-O 3.0 is actually being used as a testbed for Super Robo-O, you could think of Robo-O 3.0 as being the Famicom developer who was doing their last big hit, but it got too big either for the hardware or it ran too late into the life cycle of a console. You remember those games, man, that they were like really, really late era games that ended up getting canned, and there are basically fully playable demos of these kinds of games that then got Super Nintendo versions, right? And I feel like this is a bit of the parallel of what's happening with Robo-O into Super Robo-O, is that we have Robo-O 3.0, which is using as this testbed, which really outgrew the bounds of NES likes. But when you move to a new hardware platform, you don't have the same level of familiarity. So the ability to really make the top of the line, the masterpiece of that hardware generation is super difficult. So hewing closer to this like NES prototype or the NES version of a game that then got pushed to a Super Nintendo version, right? It kind of stands to reason that you would retain this 2-button light and heavy attack layout. Oh man, a tiny crown on Ring King's head as the champ would be amazing. And friends, let me know if you have any questions about this game, if there's anything you want me to test out, if there's anything you want me to show off, just drop it in chat there. I wanna show off everything. I know people are interested in a bunch of different things. Yeah. Let me know. But we got this 2-button game, right? So we have a light attack, and then we have a heavy attack, and you can actually see. So a light and a forward and light. And so I'm not sure if the frame data is actually any different on these, but you can see that forward and light does move you forward, and that's not just me walking forward. It is actually an independent attack, right? Because stand jab is like this, and forward is like this. You can see the difference on it. Forward light into light will give you a target combo, right? But stand light into anything won't. So yes, so that is how the move selection is being expanded upon, right? So not only do we have so we have a stand light and a forward light. Like I said, not sure what the frame data difference is. Even damage, let's see here, right? Halfway through the E. Oh, that might be a little bit more damage. Yeah. So so forward light does a little bit more damage. So it is its own thing. And then same thing, we have stand heavy, 5H does this, and 6H is this. And this is part of Ring King's old target combo from Robo-O. So in Robo-O, it was, I believe, forward H, so like 6H, 2H. In here, it's just 6H, 6H. And like all of the target combos or unique command attacks in Robo-O, it has a juggle point, which now is indicated by this lovely blue glowing limb. Does ending hyperdrive on a cancelable normal allow you to cancel into special after hyperdrive runs out? Ending hyperdrive on a cancelable normal allow... Oh! Yes. Yes. So, here, I think what you're talking about is if you get, in hyperdrive, curses, I'm missing the link. So yeah, if you're in that kind of situation where you use hyperdrive, you get to the end, and then you use a special, that special will be able to cancel into super instead of, because if you're in hyperdrive mode, you are not able to use special attacks, right? That won't work, and using any supers will immediately cancel hyperdrive, right? So yeah, you can use the entirety of your hyperdrive mode, then use a special, or like an EX special, which will juggle, and then you can cancel that into super. Absolutely. And it actually makes the combo system much more interesting, in my opinion, since you don't have access. I was playing, when I started playing this demo, I was like, shit, is there a bug? I can't special attack when I'm in hyperdrive. That was my immediate reaction. And then I went and Foxy Boxy has included a little bit of a Ring King guide with this demo that explains how the character works and how the systems work. And in it, they say specifically you are not able to do special attacks during hyperdrive. And then I was like, I don't know about that, right? Because I really like the freedom that is offered by this in Robo O. But at the same time, it kind of like, yeah, I'm just going to hyperdrive and then special attack, and do a shit ton of damage. So having this change means you're doing more thinking about what normals you can use in hyperdrive. So actually a good example might be like, because look, you can do this, right? You can do your juggle point, and then hyperdrive, right? And that's some decent damage, right? That's some decent damage of some okay corner carry, right? It's not bad, but like, since I can't just do that into my upper, right, or my my straight punch and do juggle and do a ton of damage off of those, now I'm like, is there something better I can do? So maybe I do that, and then I do that, right? Perhaps there's another route, and I believe that did do more damage. Right? So, like, it is, I think it really provides players way more incentive to think about what kinds of combos they're doing and which tools they're using in them. So I'm really excited for this. Yo, Steamy, absolutely. This game is looking phenomenal. Hey, yeah, you learned about it from one of Andrea's articles. Yeah, Andrea did a lot of great coverage on Robo O, and I highly recommend it. If you got like $3 or whatever, I highly recommend picking up Robo O. The package is definitely worth it, especially if you like the Nintendo, the 8-bit aesthetic. And then, like, this is freaking absolutely gorgeous, man. Like, I am so excited. The super animation, like this turnaround punch animation is just like, mwah. I'm getting like Gundam Super Nintendo game vibes, and it's just makes me so happy. But yeah, right, Leo. So yeah, you can get jumping hyperdrive combos, and it makes sense. It gives you way better corner carry. It looks like it gives you more damage, right? So those are things worth considering, especially because y'all. Now this is something I also didn't mention. I fibbed a little bit. Ring King does not have all of the moves that they have from Robo O. So you might be noticing that the punch upper, the rush punch upper is missing, right? So, and this is something that when I realized this, I was like, yes, this makes sense. Maybe this move will come back. Maybe it'll be reintroduced to Ring King in a different form. But I felt that the difference between straight rush punch and rush punch upper in Robo O was very minimal, right? And if you've played Robo O, you might remember that Ring King's super attack is the rush punch upper, but in this one it's a straight. So I think the move has actually been removed entirely, and now we have this overhead punch, which is, instead of the heavy quarter circle back, the low, you have this chargeable overhead. So I don't know if we're actually going to get the rush punch upper back, but I honestly felt that it was kind of redundant as a move. So either having it be removed and focusing on other things in Ring King's toolkit, I think that's a super good idea, or bringing it back and having it have some kind of different utility. Maybe it comes back, and instead of being a rush punch upper, it's like the charging bull upper, right? So it's just the Balrog, really, really close headbutt, right? That would be really amazing. Yo, thank you for the follow, Steamy. So I would love to see, I don't know if Foxy is still around. I would love to know from them what their thoughts are for Ring King going forward, if that is something that they are going to be choosing to bring back in his toolkit, or if they're going to be focusing on other things. It's like when Dragono and Megastar were practically the same character. Absolutely. And this actually speaks really well to Foxy's design ethos with their games. And you'll see this like continual iterative process of trying to give more meaning to what is there, right? So sometimes that entails entirely brand new systems, like a tag mechanic, like we're getting in Robo O and Super Robo O. But other times it just entails a tweaking of the toolkit, right? I think we saw a little bit of that with Nekogami and how her changes came about in Robo O. We definitely saw that with Megastar and Dragono, as Leo points out. Looking back to when Hyperdrive was added, yeah, what a journey this game has been on. Absolutely, right? And I think that like continual long-term iterative process, I genuinely believe we're going to see Robo O go from this early era Super Nintendo game to a late era Super Nintendo game with all of the kind of transformations in design and quality of game that entails. So we got some cool stuff, man. Right? We have, of course, Rush Punch, being able to combo off of Rush Punch. So one of the immediate things that I noticed when it comes to the actual combo system and the combo system and optimization of Super Robo O is that there are way more links. I feel like there are way more links in this game than Robo O had. Robo O had a couple characters who had a couple of significant links, and really not much else that was like really practical. But like that, the idea, so, oh man, once again, so I keep missing it. And some of these links are not easy, man. So, right, Rush Punch, 1-2. We can also get off of Heavy Punch, 1-2, which is actually an easier link. But you can also get Heavy Punch into forward, into 6HH, right? So that's I'm pretty sure 6 into forward HH is a one-frame link. I'm not sure about the buffer, Andrew. That is a good question. I don't know how much of an input buffer is available, because I find myself having to double and sometimes triple tap to make sure I'm getting that one frame window link, or one frame link window. That's the word. But like, yeah, heavy into 6LL is relatively easy, but then heavy into 6HH is much more difficult. There you go. This is SF4. Go back to Smash Ultimate, right? And like, for real. And it's an interesting progression where it's not something that was really present in a significant way in I think a lot of 8-bit games. Comboing a lot of 8-bit games was perhaps normal, special, occasional link. Griffy Bones, you are in fact the exact person that I wanted to speak to. I was actually hopeful, dude, if you are free anytime this week, I would love to get you on stream, including today. I would love to get you on stream to be able to play some matches with you and hopefully Leo Luster. Y'all are both like super big champions of this game, and you are, of course, Griffy Bones, the true Robo O, the true Ring King. So, right, I would love to have the both of you on so we could test it out in some matches and I can get your thoughts on it. So, dude, my DMs are open. Whenever you're available, we will make it work. Because definitely, when I found out that this demo had just Ring King, I was like, oh, it's the Griffy Bones demo. Amazing. Excellent, excellent. Yo, we will set up a date for later on this week. I think that will be amazing. I would love to just dedicate a couple hours and sit down and play some matches. Yeah, we need sets, man. We need sets. How else are we gonna truly test out how this game is operating if we don't get some folks in a ring? So yeah, way more Link heavy. And like I said, I'm pretty sure that this guy here, 5H into 6HH, is a one-frame Link. Oh, and sorry, I did see earlier on, Mohost asked if while in hyperdrive, can you throw? No, you cannot. Not only are you locked out of special attacks, you're locked out of throws. So there's no more block string, is it high-low throw mix, right? That doesn't exist anymore, which is actually one of the reasons why I think Ring King got this overhead attack, right, is to give them a significantly more threatening, because this hits low. So CPU, block all stand, right? Boom. So our crouch jab here is a low attack, right? And then our overhead here, right, is a proper overhead. So, like, this adds a significant amount of nuance to Ring King's actual game plan, and I think with the advent of, because really, like, that's what Ring King had, right? He had, like, strike throw. He had a strike frame trap throw mix. And so instead of giving him this overhead high low throw off of hyperdrive, off of like, and remember friends, off of like random full screen pressure, like, is yeah, I think that is a very, very wise choice. Oh, also interesting enough. Oh, ooh. Okay, interesting. So this is actually the second version of the demo that Foxy has provided for me. And in the first one, there was like almost no pushback on like crouching strikes in the corner. We were basically like locked in, and you could do a like maybe 5 or 6 right? Maybe 5 or 6 strikes. So you could go like mid, low, mid, and then high, or like mid, low, high. You can still do it pretty close, right? So you can just do pressure, mid, low, high. But you would get like 2 or 3 separate opportunities to go into your overhead before you were pushed out of max range. So it has been changed to get you out with basically 3 hits. Right? 2, 3, yeah, out of range, but you still get that. Dude, everyone needs a little bit of access. I mean, if folks are available, I'm not opposed. So, right, yeah, I was not actually convinced that this was a low when I first saw it, but then I just tested it out and I was like, oh yes. That's right, Leo. I'm hovering above the plebs of the Robo-O community. No, trust me. I want folks to get their hands on this. I admit I'm a little bit like, how much do I open this up? Like, Foxy provided it to me to cover it in some way. I'm not sure how much they actually want a whole bunch of people to be playing it, though maybe they do want that. But I don't want to step on their toes is one of the things I'm concerned about. Sorry, I miss Foxy saying, the current mode will offer the most familiarity. I would like to create a second boxing style as the second mode. We will do it also for Megastar. Ah, amazing. Okay, so there will be more variation in the different mode styles. Interesting. Okay. Jump lights are still active for the entirety. We do not get the same kind of cross up, right? Same side, same side, same side. So it is much. I don't think you're actually able to get a cross up mid-screen. I don't know if he has any cross-ups. Does he have any jump? I don't think he has any jump cross-ups mid-screen. Look, yeah. Oh, damn, even in the corner, look at that. Look at that. Oh man, yeah. Yep. I mean, I think that's the big shift for Ring King as a character, right? It's about the strike throw overhead with this. Foxy, okay, so this is something. I'm glad. It took me, dude. Usually I have a timer when I start trying out a new game that is like time to breaking game, right? Like I have a tendency to like get myself soft locked in these games or bug something out in some way, shape, or form. It took me a while, but I did find a little bit of a glitch here. Perhaps it's a feature. I like the idea of this being a feature. So our overhead attack, right? Quarter circle back light attack. You can hold it and you can charge it into this overhead, and you can see the damage difference, right? So quarter of the way through the E, charged up, boom, that does some pretty big damage, right? It also glows, which means it charges up your super meter. So that attack, as well as throws and your strike, right, and your heavy specials will charge your super meter. So I was messing around with combos, and I found that if you do this and hyperdrive cancel, it builds your super meter. But then if you use quarter circle back light again, it immediately comes out as a charged one. Now, this one doesn't launch, it doesn't do the extra damage, but it does give you the super meter boost. Right? So typically, you would only be able to combo. So what you can do is, right, you can do some like corner pressure nonsense, mid-low, do I go overhead, or you charge it and you get that. And if you get the charged overhead, it launches and it gives you super bar, which lets you immediately cancel, right? But you can't really combo anything other than that, right? You could do this into medium, into an EX, right? But you're committed to the juggle combo at that point. There's no way you can restand your opponent. But now, if you do that, and you can get a combo off of that, right? And so you do that, you hyperdrive cancel, you get your full combo, you get your knockdown, and then you try to set up your meaty. Oh, not there. There it is, right? And so when you try to set up your meaty off of this, you will get the extra charge from the overhead, plus you will have a grounded combo. So this bug actually works really similarly to a bug that appeared in the original Robo-O. In the original Robo-O, there was a hyperdrive dash cancel bug which could prevent your opponent from moving and offer basically an infinite combo. It would lock them in a hit stun state that they wouldn't be able to escape from. And it would happen when you would do an aerial attack and hyper dash cancel on basically the same frame that you landed on the ground and did an air attack, right? So something about the transition from aerial to grounded and then the backdash caused that kind of state change. And so now similarly with the hyperdrive cancel here off of this charge state, right? I believe if you hyperdash cancel on the frame that the attack hits, it maintains the charge status, but not the rest of the properties. Yeah, and it looks like that might be it, right? So it might be, is this like a stored Ochio from Street Fighter 2? Is this like a Honda stored Ochio thing? Let's see, if I push a button, gone. There, okay. Ooh, no, okay. So I was able to combo into it. I'm curious now. Let it out, okay. Okay, if I strike and then use it, it's gone. Perhaps if I use it in a combo, right? If I just do jab, cancel. Interesting. So it treats canceled attacks as part of the same move. So you're right. If I do this, dash cancel, and I think if I do any of this, I probably won't have the charge. No. Right? But that, and then, oh. And if I just do this, yeah, and then you do, right? And then so if you meaty that attack, you get the super power up, which off of this, right, if you, okay, so by virtue of how the glitch works, right, you get at least one, which is actually 2 charges. You will get a full charge. That is super sick. Oh, that's super sick. Okay. Can I just... I'm wondering, can I do... Yeah, right? So, can I do an actual combo? So it keeps it off of 1 strike. Will it keep it off of multiple strikes? Yo, let's test this out. Let's test this out. It will. Okay. So didn't combo, right? So I'm wondering if I get that full combo, will it work? Oh right, I don't even need to like meaty it really. Oh, so it's gone. So I don't know if it's time based. I don't know if it might. Interesting. I'm very curious how this works in depth. But anyways, Foxy did see it and they said they think they understand what's going on. But legitimately, this is actually a really cool glitch. But right, it's interesting. It doesn't store all the properties. So it makes me wonder how they're connected in the actual engine, right? Oh, good point. Good point, Steamy. I am linking, not canceling. Because you're right, it does work off of 1, 2, 3. It keeps the property there. Ooh. Can I do target combo, overhead, jab? Nah, not quite. I think it's fascinating. But yes, it's the only real glitch that I have come across. I think, other than the aforementioned, the way that jabs weren't pushing out in the first version of the demo that I tried. So any request, friends? Yo, is there anything that y'all want to see? What is other things of note? Oh, you cannot hyperdrive cancel throws. Throws can no longer be hyperdrive canceled. And then I think that's to kind of go along with no throws while in hyperdrive mode. Which is an interesting, yeah. It's an interesting choice. I don't know about speed. Yeah, forward and back throw. So back throw does the side swap and 2 hits. And then forward throw does that, right? I would say, okay. I really, really love the presentation and the visual work. I love the new sprites, right? These are like gorgeous characters. The only, like, I think there are 2 things visually right now that I'm like, oh, that would be really nice if that could be improved a bit. A little bit of the, if you see the edges around the junkyard piles here, they seem, especially against the background sky gradient, they really pop in a way that I'm like, ooh, it'd be nice if that was like a little bit blended a little bit better. Like the ones in the background are much better blended, I feel. And then the side swap on the throw. And I don't know if this is just that no animation has been made for the side swap on the throw yet, but you can see it's just like the sprite slides, right? Just as like 2 little critiques as to like, once again, like where are we in the game? This game is very, very early in development. Even as good as it looks in motion in some spots, there are obviously some places where it's like, okay, there is still work being done. Oh, Mutil, yeah, that's actually a good point. That is very, very low damage. It is. I mean, the amount of frame advantage that you get is really nice. Like, I am almost certain that this is a safe jump. Like, a full jump forward into jump is a safe jump. Do we have... I'm not going to be able to do it. I don't have 2 sets of hands. Okay. And then another really actually important thing I think to note about the combo system right now is that because so much of like the whole idea is that your super meter is tied to you being able to build, right? Like to land these specific attacks, right? So we have quarter circle forward heavy, quarter circle back heavy, throw. Yes, and right, and throw also does build your super meter. It builds 1 bar. So there are 4 bars, right? So flashing blue, flashing yellow, 2 knock pips, and then 4 knock pips, right? So there are 4 different levels of super that you can get. Throws build 1, and your specials build 2, right? So that's flashing blue. Another throw takes me to flashing yellow. But if I do my heavy attack, it takes me right to flashing yellow, and then right to full. So because so much of this, the combat is, and the ability to access your supers is built around this, you can't actually cancel from heavy attack into special. Those don't combo, though they do kind of act as frame traps, right? So off of 6LL, you can do 6LL Light Rush Punch, which is a nice combo and a great way to like extend, right? But 6LL Heavy leaves a gap, right? So you can't just easily B&B into your moves which charge super. You can do this, right? That's one way to do it. You can start with it, but comboing into those specials is difficult, right? So same thing here. The regular Light Punch doesn't charge any super. That one does, right? But you can't combo in to that one. So I don't even think you might like, no, you can't even link because that wasn't charged and that wasn't a combo, right? So it really shifts, like, it might be frustrating. I think you're gonna see some players be like, damn, why can't I just do heavy into heavy special? It's because of the way the super system works. And then yes, the throw gauges build super meter, right? So it's easier to connect than other yellow hand attacks. So that's exactly it, right? Because these are more difficult to combo into and the combo system doesn't allow you to easily B&B into them, throws then become the method to do that. But I like that, right? So you can see here, the yellow hands, those indicate that the moves charge super. And then the charge, obviously, right? And then, as I said, the blue hand attacks indicate that it has juggle properties. So, boom, 1 juggle point, but you can't do it twice in a row. Though this does mean that you'll notice it on the super as well. That one doesn't have anything, right? Doesn't have a blue glow on it. Level 2 does. So also worth noting, when you're building your super, right? If I only have 1 level, I cannot do, oh, ooh, I was tricked. See, based on how that works everywhere else, I would have assumed that that level 1 super does not juggle. I would have figured that that would have been the one because the blue glow is missing, and that is the what's. So, oh, okay. So that's something else, right? Maybe in terms of just for like consistency of design, like if this is going to indicate juggle point. And I don't know, what do people feel, right? Should that disappear when the juggle point has been used up? Would that make sense, right? Because even here, the move is tagged as having it, but it won't actually juggle after you've used it, right? So should that disappear? Ah, that is the green hand for super attack. You would like to use yellow, blue, and green hand for every character. Okay. And what does the green hand attack indicate? I'm curious. I might have seen this before. This might actually be available on the Foxy Boxy Games website. No, it's just more information about the modes. Okay. Green hand destroys projectiles. I mean, right? That would legitimately, like, based on my fighting game history, that would be my assumption. Okay. It was just used for stylization, and the supers are intended to have juggle points. Okay. Okay, that's interesting. I appreciate you, Super HC. You're keeping me honest, you're keeping me hydrated. And not, like, causing me to die from, like, whatever, hyperhidrosis or whatever it's called. Like, when you drink too much, water toxicity or whatever it is. We don't need that, friends. All right. Yo, this is, like I said, we have... Let me run a couple matches. Let me do that. I want the cosmic color. And I'm gonna face the durable maniac AI. Let's do it. Oh yes, of course. Much like the original Robo O, backdashes are invincible. So, boom, right? You can backdash attacks. So there is some, like, the defensive play often revolves around that, right? So, like, backdash and then, oh, right? Like, backdash and then whiff punish? But yeah, man, like, Ring King not having a jumping cross-up, like, definitely changes the game for them. But I think the overhead will be very strong. It's one of those things that will lose to, like, mashers, but I think will, like, ultimately be very strong in someone's game, right? Because that's it. You can do light, that, and then combo, right? Like, you're able to combo off of it with the dash cancel. And I like this, like, target combo into heavy frame trap, and then if that hits, you can link off of it, and then if you go right into the light one and you have the bar, you can dash cancel. Like, Ring King is still a character that has an immense amount of damage potential and pressure potential. Hypernatremia. That's the one that I was thinking of. But yeah, a bunch of terms for it. Boom. Ah, missed the link. Ooh, man. And that actually works. Like, that will hit. Damn, what is the hitbox on the charged one like? Right, but like that's kind of like a really good loop that you could perform with Ring King, right? Is 6LL light rush punch, which is a true block string or a true combo, right? Mix it up with 6LL heavy, which isn't a true combo, but is a frame trap, right? And lets you do that, right? So you can combo off of it and charge up your super. And then going, right? Mixing that in with, damn, that's a fucking anti-air. Mixing that in with 6LL overhead, which can, oh, not mid-screen. Oh, just in the corner. All right. What about charge? Right? That hits from a decent distance. But that's it, right? So, like, even just at a base level, 6LL into your quarter circle forward specials, and then your light quarter circle back and your light quarter circle back charge is a really powerful base gameplay mechanic. This is like, at its core, I think, Ring King, at their core, Ring King is a very strong character, and this kind of, like, exemplifies it, right? I think this is partly why Ring King is being used as the base here for testing out the rest of the features, is they're a really good, strong character to be like, okay, how do these systems, how strong can they get? Ooh! Oh, you saw that? There was, once again, no pushback on some of my attacks there, so there are ways still to prevent it. Can you do it in the middle instead of the end? So, yeah. So instead of doing 6LL, can I just do 6L into it? Ah, no. So your 6L commits you to the follow-up. But if you do 5L, you would be able to. So you don't get the extra distance, the extra range on the 6L because that has a built-in little step forward. But if you do 5L, then you're able to special cancel it. Though, ooh, interesting. What about 6H? 6H will work. Interesting. So yeah, you instead of going that, right, which launches and then it won't hit, you can do that. But off of, yeah, 6L, I'm doing 6L quarter circle back. It's forcing me to do the follow-up. But if we find 5L into it, that's fine. Okay. Whoop. Oh, wow, you're all over the place, Rinking. Oh, no. I find that interesting that the light string commits you to the target combo follow-up, but the heavy string doesn't. Oh, but look at that. So 5L, I don't think 5L quarter circle forward combos though. So that would also be... Ah, interesting. Ooh, and you can't link off of it if it's not a meaty. So maybe counter hit, right? That would be interesting. If you were to do 5L quarter circle back L on counter hit, quarter circle back L might let you combo into target combo and continue. But as it stands, it doesn't, right? So yeah, like, and even that, the 2L for the low attack into the overhead, which is great, doesn't let you just combo off of it unless you have bar. And I love that you can also see, right? So for the end screen, the win quotes, they're not there. I find it cool. Once again, if we want to peeking behind the curtain a little bit for game dev, right? You can see that the structure for allowing win quotes at the end of a match is there because it just pops up as the black thing, the black bars, right? But there's nothing actually being populated in there. Oh, held it too long. So yeah, right? Like you can be poked out pretty obviously of the... You might be able to get poked out of the uncharged quarter circle back. But definitely the charged one, Man, that was a deep-ass cross-up. That might be the only way you get it. Yeah, there we go. And that's the play, right? Because if you get that charged overhead, you have a guaranteed super there. So if you manage to get it mid-screen, actually, maybe you might still be able to get the 6H juggle if you get the full charge mid-screen. Trade. Ooh. I'm just gonna try to backdash in the backdash his specials, right? Because I think he's gonna throw it out. There you go. Yo. Okay, we got some KOF on our hands, man. We just got dodge rolls. And, like, it being on one button, on the shoulder button, feels so good. Like, I'm on an arcade stick right now, but, like, even still. Oh, so good. Oh, right. I keep forgetting I'm not going into EX. All right, yo, if Heart Gold, you were talking about wanting to get your hands on this. Griffey, I don't know if you're still around or available. Do we throw hands? Are we throwing hands? Yeah, so yeah, it's all in the dust, right? I really like the dust animation. But yeah, right? It could possibly afford to be a little bit more noticeable. Especially considering, like, oh shit, the invuln on that was real. Yo, sweetheart. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna play another round here, but I'm gonna take a break, grab myself a drink, and then boot up Parsec. And we're gonna get to see what this is like in real human hands. There we go. Yo, we got the stickiness. So that's like, how many opportunities do I have here? It doesn't work on hit. It doesn't work on hit. But like, I'm pretty sure that's a bit of a block string infinite. And it seems that if you get it on the first frame out of recovery, that you don't move back, right? Like, there's no pushback until you recover from your jab. And so if you can get that timing of like having basically no frames of recovery or one frame of recovery, then it seems like you can just stay in the same spot, right? But then you can also go between, you know, whatever, like mids, go between mids and lights, which gives the impression of going for your overhead when you're not, and then switching into overhead. That's super dangerous. Hey, but this is why we test stuff out, right, Foxy? Aw, boo. Okay, I'm excited, friends. Yo, we're gonna take a quick little break. Y'all should go grab yourselves a snack. Grab yourselves something to drink. Heart's gonna boot up Parsec. And we are going to get some games with Super Robo Owen. I am excited, my friends. Yo, thank you as always, friends. For joining me here on Niche Fighter Monday. I am always excited to show off some cool niche and indie fighting games. If you haven't already, drop me that follow just so you know when I go live. You can follow me on the Twitters and on YouTube as well, where I got a bunch of cool stuff. And then, you know, super fans, of course, if you got a few bucks on you, I always appreciate if either the Twitch subs use those Bezos bucks, or hit me up on the Patreon, where you can get some really cool exclusive shit and support some indie creators, which is always appreciated. So maybe while you scrounge the digital couches for some change, for a couple spare bucks for a good old friend, I'm gonna grab myself a drink, and we're gonna be back with some more Super Robo O in just a minute. Stay tuned, friends. Welcome on back, everybody, to Niche Fighter Monday. I am, of course, MrMKL. We are hanging out in the digital basement, and I am lucky enough today to possibly be a little blurry, to be able to play Super Robo O with some folks. Yo, we're gonna get, I just got Heart Gold / Trumpet Zorua into the Parsec. They are a regular in the Super Robo O, Super Robo, in the Rock'em Sock'em Robo O tournament series that we've hosted here in the digital basement. So they are no stranger to this game, and we are gonna hop into it and play some matches. I think this is gonna be good. So let us get on over here to our gamepad config. Oh, it seems like you have you pressed a button there, Trumpet? Oh, we got you. Are you using keyboard by any chance? Yes, Muto. I will be taking a look at the upcoming updates to Uchu Mega Fight. Ah, right, keyboard. As well as Uchu Mega Fight Cross Robo O, which is going to be a very interesting tag fighting game. Keyboard config. There we go. You should have access now. All good. All right. Hey. Oh, damn. You're working on the Mizumi wiki for it. That's amazing. All right. Feel free to press some buttons for a minute there, Hart, by all means. I'm excited. We're gonna hop over into a proper 1v1 match in just a second. But I just wanted to say again, thank you to Foxy Boxy Games for providing us the opportunity to try out this game and see where it's at. I talked about in the video that I played before the stream here, that this demo was actually created for the Gyar Indie Games Contest, and Gyar Studios is an indie studio label created by Bandai Namco, and they run an indie game tournament that gives money support, development support to creators. And so Foxy submitted Super Robo O using this demo. So I am really curious. I believe the judging panels are just wrapping up their final judgments this week, and we should be hearing in the beginning of March what the results of the Gyar Indie Games Contest were. So we might see Super Robo O get an infusion of cash or development support from Bandai Namco / Gyar Studios, which I think is an amazing prospect. Like, it is so difficult to be an indie creator, and like, making games is hard, guys. I talk to indie devs all the time, and like, the struggles are real. So any level of support is amazing, and whether it be development support or a cash infusion, or even perhaps being brought on as an official title in some capacity, is an amazing opportunity for an indie developer. So I am very glad that Foxy has submitted this game, and I am very intrigued as to what the results will be. I'm very hopeful for Super Robo O in this contest. Dang, working on retranslating the game? That is amazing. Yo, fucking community champions, friends. Right here in this chat. Mutal for UMF, and I mean Leo Luster for Robo O, running the Robo O Discord, being a super big champion of the game. Big shout outs. Yo, also big shout outs. I got my heavy tech shirt on today, so I've been hat tipping all of the neighborhoods, the neighborhood dwellers. All right. You know what I say? I say it's time to battle. And I love P1 gets the color priority, man. Ooh, okay. That might be punishable. Rush punch on block might be punishable. Ooh. There you go. So jabbed out of the heavy attack frame trap. You can backdash those. Ooh, no punish. Ah, okay. Interesting. I don't actually think that is a true a true block string. Yo, we're learning shit already. And we seem to basically be at like, we seem to be neutral after the light rush punch. Okay. So these immediately I'm like, oh man, my strings are not as airtight as I thought they were. All right. Nice. Oh. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you can totally punish the light rush punch. At least from point blank, right? Yep, and the you would think that that super would combo, but the fully charged super actually has a very long startup. It is like, I believe it is strike and projectile invincible. But the long startup means it won't combo in some situations where you think it will. Oh, okay. It's throw invuln as well, because my throw just whiffed. Man, honestly, I really like the training stage. I love that when you play in the training stage in training modes, you'll get like the shutters will be closed, but here the shutters are open. Oh, it's so good. Oh man, sorry. It's sometimes Parsec does not like sending over the game audio. Though, here, give me a sec. I'll see if I can bump it up. Let me try that. Hopefully that's a little bit better. If that doesn't, if that doesn't make it come through Parsec, then unfortunately, I think it's just Parsec. And same thing, yeah. Let me know if y'all can hear the audio on stream too. These lo-fi tunes are nice. Beautiful. Oh my god! Oh my god! I could just fucking throw that? Nice. Oh man. Honestly, okay, so this is really cool. And thinking about how Ring King is being balanced with their new moveset, because your light low rush punch is been replaced with the overhead, that's fine. So you don't have a close range low rush punch, right? But you do have the overhead out of it. And now instead of since you don't have like a close range low, you do still have your 2 light, which acts as a low, right? So you do still have your low mix-up option at close range. It's just not this. Oh, I know, right? The SNES sounds are so nostalgic. I love it. Oh, and you'll see, even on block, these rush punches build your super meter, though. Oh, nice. And that did combo. Oh, nice. Ah, missed the link. There you go. Just going with the pressure at the end of the round. Man, there is like a wicked front hurt box, throwable hurt box on that rush punch. Like, you cannot carelessly throw that out. Oh, good question. The low. So, I mean, if I could anti-air it like that. Oh, the light? Oh, that's so deadly. Nice. Nice. Yeah. Oh. I thought I could whiff punish the crouch H. Oh. Ooh, too far for the 6HH. Mm. Mm. Oh, it does. It does feel good. Haha, amazing. Super. I can't believe I caught I caught the notification. I didn't have a chance to respond. But yeah, you're saying you had to recomplete. You 100% Bleach versus Crusade. Oh jeez. You're a champion. Yo, gamers going blind. It feels so good. I will say, like, hitboxes feel very big. Like I probably should be a little bit more scared of full screen rush punch, right? Maybe a little bit more scared. Ooh, crouch H, that might be the punish. Damn. Gotta remember, no real cross-ups, eh? Honestly, it's a little bit difficult to link off of like in hyperdrive to do 6LL dash into 6HH. It's actually kind of tough, like to get the hit off the juggle. I wonder if it's worth, instead of doing 6HH after the hyperdrive and then trying to do that again, if I should just dash 2H, which will launch, right? Maybe, maybe not. And it's interesting because it's actually, it feels really easy to get it off of the non-hyperdrive. Like, this into the juggle, just, it feels okay. Like, it's not that much of a challenge. It is to land the hit, but... I do love jumping hyperdrive combos, though. I am becoming a very big fan of that. Ooh, got hit with the low. All right. Oh, no, didn't have the bar. Get throw. Oh, frick, I got the meaty overhead. I got it, but I didn't commit to the 6LL. Oh, shit. I would have had the bar for hyperdrive, and I would have been able to combo into super. Ooh, that was the chance. Yeah, I want to try to whiff punish with the 6L. I love this. We're just going fishing with the blue hand. Good hyperdrive. And you know what? Since this only works like on a block string, 6LL rush punch isn't a true block string. So I think going for this is going to be the play on block. Missed it. Oh no, I canceled too late. Oh god, it legitimately feels like, damn, okay, you really just juiced up Robo O so hard It's so good. And if anyone, I mean, folks might not have had the chance to play the Robo 3.0 demo, but if you did, then you will definitely see the like connection, right? And it for sure it feels like almost a realization of some of the potential from the Robo 3.0 demo. So oh man, I'm so stoked to see where that goes and then where this goes in relation to it. The power jab? Ooh. Oh, do you mean that? Maybe. I didn't consider that. I would... Well, no, you can't use that in hyperdrive, right? So... Or do you just mean like the jab while in hyperdrive to get the bounce? Because yeah, you could just do that off of... Okay, perhaps. That might work. Yeah, okay, I should be able to do the other one as well. Beautiful. There you go. There you go. If you got the easy connection while in hyperdrive, 6HH, 2L. And that sets them up perfectly for more juggles. So if you're not confident, because you can link 6HH into 6H again. That is possible. But the link is much tighter. So if you're concerned about that, yeah, go into the jab, which puts them at a really good height. Yeah, that makes sense. Beautiful. Oh, I wanted EX. Ooh, okay, I gotta delay that. Oh, even further. Okay, but that will connect. That will connect. I do like 6H off of the low rush punch. That's really nice, because that would work mid-screen just fine. None for the dash. Okay, I wanted to dash cancel. Oh, I missed it. Ooh, you can delay. Maybe that's why you get... Oh. Oh, wait a minute. So you can delay the follow-up on your light target combo. So you can play a little bit of like, is it block string, is it frame trap? Ooh, a thought occurred to me since we were talking earlier on about like what state is the game in, and I noted that while we can play some of the other characters in a very unfinished state, none of their projectiles work. But also, Ring King doesn't have any projectiles. So we might be at a point where... Oh, nice, that comboed. Okay. We might be at a point where there are just no... Nice! Right? That just projectiles are not implemented at all. I'm sorry, can someone do me a favor and hit exclamation point clip on that one? Which, by the way, friends, if y'all see anything that looks really cool, we do have that clip command here. Nice. Oh, I tried to be cute and forward dash to close the distance and then back dash the punch. Man, this game is feeling really good, friends. I loving the cosmic color too. This purple that heart is on is so good. What do you think, friends? What do you want to see? What colors, what kind of color palettes do you want to see in this game? There's like already a default pink. There's the pretty color, which is going to be pink, and I assume it's going to be pink for all the characters, which I think is mandatory. Dude, like, yo, if you play any anime games, you know that there must be, like, there is a mandatory, like, monochromatic and a mandatory pink color outfit. Oh, you want to see a good green? Yeah, absolutely. I could like that. What do you want? Like, are you like one of the neon green fans, or are you more like the deep forest green? Or do we need like a Link's tunic? Neon green for sure. Nice. Yo, I appreciate that. Ooh, man. The fact that 2H is a really fast punish, mixed with the fact that you can get, like, basically a free 6H off of it. Oh, God. That's such good potential. Nice throw. Ooh, but that means I don't get the extra juggle afterwards. I gotta be really careful with that. Oh, nice. Got the timeout. Man, that's such a strong, just like boxer pose, right? It's just like the you're getting the hand held up by the ref. Oh, I was late on the super cancel. Yes, Super HC. A little ref should appear. Just like runs out, grabs the hand. That would be amazing. Oh, dude. And then like G Dreams or like U Melody, then she could have like the judges score, right? Because U Melody and Serukiss are getting like, they're like basically going to be combined into a single like Japanese pop idol duo, right? So oh man, you could have like the fans come out with like the right, just like the G Dreams sign. If you're at Sudakiss and she's still like the ice skater thing, yeah, you have the judges come out with the 10 out of 10. Ooh, early on the backdash. Oh, again. All right, I gotta watch. I guess I'm too close, so the spacing's different. Yes, super genius. It's only a 10 out of 10 if you get a perfect. Oh, that's amazing. That is amazing. Honestly, that is some of the stuff that I'm really excited about for Super Robo O. Foxy does such a great job of like characterizing the robots, right? They all have such great personality. All of the new like character art and pixel art is beautiful, right? And I'm like seriously, the fact that Ring King, yes, Ring King should have this championship belt. It makes total sense. Oh, wrong dash. Ooh, I thought I could whiff punish. Boom. Oh. Ooh, catching the walk back. I love Heart that you play for the timeout. I'm so happy. It always makes me happy when a player is like, yes, I'm cognizant of that, and I'm taking this round. Damn, I had the EX. I had the EX on lock, too. I wanted to go into Super, but I didn't have the bar because I didn't actually use the special. Oh, shit. All right, this is feeling nice. I should be using more of my my super meter, honestly. I feel like we're ending rounds with a lot of bar. Oh, I'm really excited to see how these moves interact with projectiles, though. Like, how well Ring King can do, realistically, is going to be tied a lot to how well he can do versus projectiles. Nice. That's good range on the throw, too. You saw me just get, like, vacuumed in. And I like that Super Robo O is still turning out so far to be a very explosive game. Like, we do not have optimal combos at all. I mean, but like, even still, it's only a handful of exchanges. Combos only, like, realistically 10 hits max. Damn, nice, 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 nice. Ooh, wait a sec. I'm sorry. Is throw into jump forward immediate overhead a properly timed frame kill? That looked like it was timed well for a fucking meaty to connect. Oh, for like a link to happen afterwards. I must know. I must know now. I actually think it is, if you do it right away, it's too early. You still do need to delay a little bit, but that is very close to what you want. Oh, I crossed up. I wasn't actually expecting to cross up in the corner. Dude, yeah, like honestly, the potential for Ring King and like the nuance in his mix-up game is so much more interesting to me now. Like oh yeah. This overhead game, the extra links, the extra target combo to like differentiate your attack types. Oh, okay, that's actually kind of dirty. That cross under was kind of sick. That is one thing that I'm not sure if that's going to change. I would be interested. I don't know, Foxy, are you considering adding any like tech roll or like air roll mechanic? Because as it stands, if somebody gets hit out of the air, they are like, I'm unable to do any actions, and I'm vulnerable to a juggle, right? That was the case in Robo O as well. But I'm curious if some kind of air roll or air tech mechanic is going to be introduced. It would actually make a little bit of sense, considering that the dashes are tied to the shoulder buttons. Like, it seems to me like it's a pretty prominent feature. And like everything, right? Your hyperdrive is tied to dash canceling, so backdash gives you dodge. It would make a certain level of sense to have some kind of like roll mechanic attached to your dash. I eventually hope to match that this match of the same mode is uncommon, and the players will fight as mode 1 versus mode 2 of this character. Ooh, interesting. I suppose, I mean, I guess that's the big question. What are the mode differences gonna be, right? My understanding is that the tag mode is still gonna be an option, and that there's gonna be another mode which changes the type of play, basically, for a character. Oh man. Is it a gap? Is it a block string? Do you eat the chip, or do you risk getting hit and like counter hit into a combo? Oh man. I love this interaction. I'm excited, like, cause if these are the base changes to Ring King, incorporating and like considering what might be incorporated in the other modes, right? The other types of combat modes is very intriguing. Ah, yes. Yeah. Forward dashes crossing up could be a very interesting component, especially if you wanted to add another layer to a character like Ring King's toolkit. A turnaround punch? I'm almost hoping that the flavor attack is a turnaround punch, Mohast. Ah, wouldn't it be interesting if the dragon fights the man if each player chooses Dragon O? That would be, right? You get to see the other side of the character and how they're constructed. Furthermore, I hope we can do the mode change. You hope we can do the mode change option. And this will be a new gauge instead of the super gauge. All right. So it would replace the super then, right? Oh, that would be... Oh, intriguing. I don't think I necessarily would have assumed that, but that's interesting. Oh, that was a really great interaction. Yo, the max charge super does quite a bit of damage. It does quite a bit. So I have a fully charged here, right? There are 4 levels to it. And we'll see if I can't connect it at some point in this round. So right, yeah. That's target combo, juggle, super did like 50%. It is very big damage. Ooh, Thursday's the Murphite monthly. Ah, dang. Cause yeah, oh man, I need to get back into my my Kingdom Hearts grind. I've been playing Kingdom Hearts 2, but damn, Murphite tournament? That does sound tempting. Oh, fascinating. Okay. So it's the power meter because Ring King wants to build his power and get the challenge, like the strong attack. But Masamiyo would want to create the perfect meal. Ooh, that is intriguing. There are so many interesting things you could do in terms of like, are you trying to... Because for anyone who doesn't know, Masamiyo is the star of Masami Sushi Ace, the puzzle game that Foxy Boxy Games has made. And in it, it's like a match 3 falling block puzzle game, and you want to match the order of your patrons in your sushi restaurant to get extra points. Oh man, this is what I was saying about the potential for like character expression and personality to come through in gameplay. That if right, because yeah, Umelody and G Dreams would want to get a crowd excited, right? So perhaps they have like a crowd meter that they're trying to build excitement. Man, oh, that's amazing. Safety Man, we will 100% see this in Stun City. Oh, yo, that's more than 50% for button into super. That's good eating. And and Safety Man, I'm saying I would bring this if Foxy is amenable to the idea, if they are okay with me bringing this to the Toronto Weekly, I would love to have the folks at Toronto Top Tiers at our tournaments try their hand at it. I think a lot of people would really enjoy it as well, just the style of it. I think they'd be interested in the game. But hey, with Foxy's permission, I would definitely do it. The visual filter is doing so much for the aesthetic of the game. Oh, it really is. I absolutely love the scanline filter, and the rounded, like the CRT rounded edge is what does it for me. That hits me right in the nostalgia. I was gonna say, there are a couple other sharp scan. So with it off, you could see the, here, let's take a look. We can see the clean pixels here, right? And then the sharp scan, it kind of rounds out the edges a bit, and it gives it that really good look. But there's also bold scan, if you wanted more bold scan lines. Because some of our TVs were like that. And then this is a sharp one. This is what my TVs looked like. Like, you could almost see the individual, like, the individual squares, the individual, like, basically, like, spots, dots, like, lighting up is... Yeah, this is definitely how a lot of my games look growing up. Nice, nice. There we go. Oh, shit. I missed that. Okay, get in the corner. No! No! I fell to the throw. Fell to the throwback. But yeah, no, not only the visual look PJ Ace, the audio, like the crunchy ass lo-fi sample is so good. Oh no. Good throw punish. Oh, you have so much time to set up off the throw as well. Like, legitimately. Look at that. Look at that, man. That's like almost a perfectly timed meaty. And then the charged overhead, which even if they blocked it, would have let me cancel into super, which I believe would have chipped them out. So, like, I'm pretty sure that was a checkmate scenario. Dude, like, It feels so good. Like, I absolutely cannot wait to get my hands on some other characters too. Overhead. Oh, thrown out of my rush punch. Nice. Let me do it. Let me do it. Ah! Trade on the rush punch versus super. I'll take it. Let's get some more colors in here. I gotta throw on the rival color as well. Honestly, the deep blue of the rival color, I love that. Just like the red and the blue feels right. Because we don't have like a white Gi Ryu, but we have the red and the blue Ken. Ooh, that is very interesting. Kakato has recommended an auto drive mode. Simple input is used, and gauge is consumed automatically. If you can develop it, you would like to. That would be an interesting take. One of the... I mean, the whole thrust of the review video that I did regarding Super Robo O was looking at, you know, developers of the past and how they handled it. And I mean, it's very obvious that like Foxy looks towards 16-bit and 8-bit developers for inspiration. But they also look towards more modern developers. I mean, they work with Uchizine and Mr. Kakato, right? And they have a lot of approachable fighting game mechanics in their games. They have one-button supers, the auto combos, and things to that effect. So not only does Foxy look at the old inspirations, right? But they also look towards more modern developers for inspiration on game design ideas. Yay! Man, that backdash, the backdash to dodge an attack into the forward-reaching target combo, mwah, it feels so good. It feels like you're like juking and jiving in a boxing match. Good jump in. Okay, good. I was gonna say, my back is gonna be killing me, so good. Thank you for that. Stretch out my old man back. Make sure I don't end up having to lie prone for the next 3 days. Dude, I threw out my back hard the other week. I don't know what I did to it, but it was like days of what am I doing to myself? Aw, missed the link. Go for the chip. Ooh! That's amazing. It even catches buttons. Man, so much utility, so much damage potential. This is honestly, I am really impressed. This is a great example of a game that has been made into like a minimum viable product. You see Foxy in chat here talking about different modes and different things that are going to be incorporated into the game. This isn't a complete look at what's going on, at what's going to be happening in Super Robo O, but it is an excellent vertical slice. No worries, Heart. Yeah, no sweat. Right? But it is an excellent vertical slice. This is like, you can hand this to someone and be like, look, when you play Super Robo O when it releases, you will get what you're getting out of this in that, right? Which is like, that's super important to be able to communicate that to players and investors and partners, whatever the case may be. So yeah, like this is a really well put together demo. You see a lot of early prototypes. Like, if you've played Game Jam games, you'll have seen the early state of some video games, right? And it can be really rough. But like, in part because Super Robo O is built on the bones of Robo O, you have things like this menu here, right? So like this is like, I call this the Godot menu, and I call this the modern retro menu, right? So like, you can go into, right, pause, quit, you have your options menu and all that stuff here. Actually, I'm really curious. Let's have some fun. Let's pit these guys against each other. Right? So, but you have this menu, and then you have the Godot menu. But because you have this like Godot menu, right? The wrapper menu, or whatever you want to call it, you have all of your button config set up, which you wouldn't really have in a lot of prototypes a lot of the time, right? Some of the game is already much farther along in terms of user experience than you would necessarily think, because it has a predecessor. I was gonna say, let's take a look at two of the early in development CPUs. So yeah, man, we don't have projectiles implemented yet. We don't have all the combat modes implemented yet. We only have one character fully implemented, as can be seen by what happens when you go to the other characters. But this is a fascinating glimpse at, first of all, a game that I think is going to be an excellent game. Just like Foxy has managed to turn Robo O into an excellent, not managed to, has turned Robo O from a great game into an excellent game, and the work has been notable. And I'm convinced that they will be doing the same with Super Robo O. But this is an amazing glimpse at like a work in progress, where the idea that basically character data from the NES prequel to this game has been imported into a Super Nintendo version of it, and is there and exists in some way, shape, or form. I don't know how much of this character data has been modified and edited, right? It seems like they were like, okay, let's dump a bunch of our characters in here. We'll get them in there with just the base the idle sprite, and then we will work on a character. We work on one character to create a demo. And they did that with Ring King, right? And, but yeah, being able to see that strikes only work from player one side, and that, right, Buccano doesn't have any moves implemented, because there is no Robo O counterpart for Buccano to pull from, right? So he has absolutely nothing, not even a push box, so he can just like go right through characters. So this is an amazing, like I said, I think this is an amazing glimpse at the in-development process, and one that we should look at. Like, I think it's cool and interesting for us as fans and players to see this, just in general. I think it's cool. But if you are a creator of any sort, seeing how other creators have gone through it, you see a history of this with Mugen creators and 2D Fighter Maker creators going through the code of the creators and the designers who have come before them, looking at how they built their games and how they did certain things within their games in order to carry that knowledge forward and make their own. This is you being able to kind of peer into it's not the actual code, but you get to peer into the development process in a way that we don't always get access to as players. And if anybody is interested in fighting games and Super Robo O and Robo O in general, I highly recommend following Foxy Boxy Games. Go check them out. They are giving us updates about this game as time goes on, and you can, who knows, when maybe someday soon there'll be a public demo based on this, right? The GR Games Indie Contest demo that you'll be able to play as well and give your feedback on. And I truly hope people do, because I think the game is at a state that meaningful feedback from the community can be implemented, right? Foxy is obviously building a specific type of game that they want to build, right? And I believe wholeheartedly that developers should make the game they want to make, right? Be unabashedly you when making your game. That's what I want to see out of these creations. One of the other things I want to see out of these creations and my creators is a response to the community and our concerns and our desires, right? It's like being able to, voice that and have it heard from a developer. And Foxy is very responsive to fans. And then maybe actually having a chance to have it implemented. Man, if you played that DNF Duel demo when it first came out and you were like, shit, I don't like the way this combo system works. Hopefully they'll change X, Y, and Z. Sorry, probably not happening, right? But the ability to maybe communicate with a creator and say, hey, what if the combo system works like this? Especially in a game that is going to have a lot of things that are character specific. If they're going to allow the character's personality to come through, having unique aspects that create a toolkit that is truly unique and having genuine differences across the board, that's an amazing opportunity. Some of this player feedback is an excellent opportunity for some of that to shine through. And I think it's really revealing when the fans of your games start identifying with your characters and saying, this is what is important about this character, right? You should probably, that's probably a good idea to focus on that and like address that as a creator. Right? I love the fact that Melody is like a 16.9 meter tall Japanese pop idol robot. I love that her partner is an ice skater, a figure skater. I love that they that she dresses up in different costumes and has these homages to pop idols from throughout the ages. That's amazing, man. Like, I want more of that. Like, how do you incorporate that characterization into meaningful mechanics? That's something that might actually be able to happen if you engage with these games at an early enough state. So, thank you. Big shout outs to Foxy Boxy Games for allowing us access to this and for being such a diligent creator and a responsive creator as well. It is amazing to see. I really appreciate it. And I am so excited to see where Robo O goes in the future. The world of Super Robo is going to be absolutely amazing. I am so excited to try it out with more people. Yo, thank you, Heart Gold, for joining me for some matches. I really appreciate it. That was amazing. I'm so glad we got to show this off. I am going to endeavor to get together with our good friends Griffy Bones and Leo Luster. Leo Luster, the individual running the Robo O Discord server and the Robo O super fan, and Griffy Bones, the niche fighting game champion who is like the 3-time champion of Rock'em Sock'em Robo O. I want them to be able to get their hands on this game, and I want to get their thoughts on it. I think that's going to be really important and really illuminating. So excited to be able to do that. So stay tuned for later on this week where we are going to get to do some of that. Man, this has been amazing. Friends, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. If you haven't already, make sure to give me that follow. Both on here, of course, either on the YouTubes, on Twitch. I'm on Twitter. I talk about a lot of stuff over there. You can find out all about me and when I go live. And I really appreciate it. Anybody who has it within their budget and within their heart to be able to support me on Patreon or here with some subs. We have those Bezos bucks, man. If you have that Twitch Prime sub and you have it sitting around, make sure to send it out to an indie creator that you appreciate. Maybe that's me. Maybe that's someone else. So long as it gets used and Jeff Bezos doesn't sit on that money, it's going to make me happy. So, man, yes, thank you, Mutil, for joining. I really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, for swinging by, for the games, for the encouragement and the support, and making the Digital Basement an amazing place to hang out. I really appreciate it. I'm going to go to my stream ending screen here, and we are going to try to find someone to raid. I don't know who is around. Yo, Cerebralin is around. They are doing some art for their 2v2 indie fighting game, Cerebral, which is super sick. So let's go join them. Don't forget that there is, I believe there's Martial Champions Monday happening, courtesy of Super HC on Fightcade later on today. And until next time, everyone, thank you, take care of yourselves, be nice to each other, and I'll see you later on in the week for some more fighting games and other cool stuff. And every Monday here at 2 p.m. for Niche Fighter Monday. Stay safe, everyone. I'll see you later.